good day. Looking forward to seeing you in June with family. Hope you have a great birthday. And I just admire the way that you've coped with everything that you've had thrown at you. I hope you've still got an element of Englishness left with tea and chocolate and that sort of thing. Anyway, will be lovely to see you and the family. And we're all
Hi there.
forward.
My favourite thing about Richard is his love of English tea and obviously cakes. The fact that you could pretty much ask him anything about any current movie that had been out there in the cinema, and you could pretty much guarantee Richard had seen it and would have an opinion about it. And last but not least, his love of anything Marvel and comics. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Hello Richard, it's Steve. We've been good friends since we've been 11 years old, and you're still a good friend of mine. Glad to call you my friend. You've got a good sense of humour still, so much so you always remind me I'm 2 months older than you. But I have to say, you're now coming to an exclusive club of the senior citizens, so welcome to the club soon in your birthday, and I hope you have a good birthday and look forward to seeing you in June. Bye for now. Bye.
Let me see now. That's 1 day, 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 51 seconds. Yeah, right. I'll get it in on time. Right. Okay. Right. What is my favourite thing about Richard Ashford? Cup. That he hosted my 21st birthday party at his flat? No. Cup. Could it be my favourite thing is the amount of times he drove me home when I was probably drunk? No, probably not that. It could be that he was like a mentor to a whole bunch of geeky teenagers, comic book teenagers no less. Nah, not that, no. Cut. Right, let me see, made a little list there. Right, he hired me to draw Ghost Rider for Marvel, that was good. In fact, he hired me to work for Marvel, which was my childhood dream from since I was 5 years old. So that was one of the favourite things about him. Have you noticed that this is all about me? Yeah. Right, he structured, edited, kinda, and co-wrote my first ever professional job in comics for 2000 AD in 1980, and he received no pay and no credit. Cut! Cut! Yeah. Oh, when I told him that I used to play my dad's Casino Royale, the record by Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, back when I was a kid in the 60s, without me even knowing it, the next time I saw him, he actually gave me his personal copy of the same record. I was very touched by that. Yeah, right. Let's see what else is there. Pretty much every week, sometimes twice a week, he used to take me to an Irish pub in Manhattan and buy me lunch on Marvel's expense account, which was pretty bloody good. Let me think now. Right. Okay, let me cut to the chase. I met Richard in 1978, but we became friends around about 1979. And I've got to tell you, in that time, he has been the most patient and generous person that I've ever known. And he's the best. That's it. Yeah, cut.
Hi, my name is Susan Doran. I'm Richard's sister-in-law. My favorite thing about Richard Ashford is that he is the kindest soul on the planet. Always very thoughtful. Never an unkind word is uttered from that man's mouth. He is an optimist and has dealt with his struggle with Huntington's with incredible grace and a positive attitude. So, one of the great human beings on our planet. We love him so much.
Favorite thing about Richard Ashford? I've got several. I'll start with the idea that witty comments are always better when delivered with a British accent. And Richard does not disappoint. Every time I leave New York, I come back with the quotable Richard. You have been a cosmopolitan guy at home in the big city when we were just suburban girls. I remember driving in London with you. You'd glance at that really fat, giant map book and we'd be off on a wild ride. Now I see that as confidence and competence. I've always admired how you took your hobby and passion and turned it into a career. You took a chance as an entrepreneur. I am still waiting for Red Sonja to join the other superheroes up on the big screen. They've rediscovered Black Panther. I know Red Sonja's next, and it will be your intuition that brought her there. Your romance with Carol is the stuff of Baird legends. Passionate kisses, the honeymoon trailer. Even a stranger identified you as blissful. A time when life was less stressful, a blissful couple, blissful foursome. When you went on separate vacations, you to Australia with Jeffrey and Grant and Carol to California. When you got back together, you said, never again. We are always traveling together. You were the connector. You brought into your lives the New York City circle of friends when you became the perfect caretaker. All of the Baird girls wanted a nanny who would call their children love. It hasn't been easy since Huntington entered your life, but it didn't take over. You are still so you. My favorite brother-in-law, I love you.
My favorite thing about Richard is his comic connection. Once upon a time, Richard took me to the San Diego Comic-Con. It was a new world for me and great to have such a guide. To this day, I regret not buying this really cool Rocketeer t-shirt. Eventually, we entered the Marvel booth, and booth is slighting the huge area that Marvel occupied. We glided right past a very long line of people hoping for an interview, their portfolios in hand. And Richard said they're all probably really good, but the competition is such that they would have to be really great to get a job. And reaching the head of the line, Richard greeted the Marvel bigwig, and the Marvel bigwig returned the greeting. They already knew each other's names. Richard asked if they had any job openings for editors, and the bigwig basically said, for you, sure. And so I guess that was the very beginning of Richard's life at Marvel. And I had no clue that Richard's job could have perks for me. But I will be ever grateful for Richard's including Barbara, Allison, who had just been born, and myself in Iron Man comic number 1, volume 13. Alter ego? Yes, it is I, Senator Crowley. And there's Secretary Barbara and young Allison straight out of secretarial school. So cool. Better than a Rocketeer t-shirt.
Hi, Richard. One of the many things I love about you are your short one-line zingers. I'm still waiting for the second part of Janet. She only has one breast. Have a fabulous birthday. I love you. Bye.
Happy birthday, Richard Ashford. 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 I guess what I'm trying to say is Richard Ashford, have a happy birthday. If I made a mistake, I guess there's a glitch. But I simply was trying to wish a happy birthday to Rich. So it's time to say goodbye. There's no quality in this, but I sure did try to say happy birthday to... Who is this for?
Hi, it's Lisa and I am here at a hotel in Chicago and I wanted to talk about my favorite thing about Richard, even though there's more than one favorite thing. But if I had to just choose one, I think my favorite thing about Richard is the fact that he is game to try anything that Carol or I can throw at him. And to give one example, Richard played a game of Twister at one of my birthday parties and actually was the big winner, probably because he had so much experience playing as a boy in England. Also, he has very recently come to a birthday party dressed in a costume. The last time he came dressed as Steve Jobs and was very convincing. So my favorite thing about Richard is that he'll try anything and he comes to every party and plays along. And also I love his incredible wit and charm, but that makes more than one thing. So that's why I love Richard. Happy birthday.
Hi guys. What do I love about Richard? Well, that's easy. His kind heart. I know some lovely stories. And most of all, his wit. Carol would always say something funny. She considered herself the funny and clever one. But anytime she said something funny or clever, Richard always said something just a little funnier and more clever. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Richard. Love that British wit.
Hey Dad, happy 65th birthday. It's kind of crazy that you're 65 and a lot of my friends don't believe it. I don't believe it because you don't look 65. You've been the best dad that a son could ever ask for. You know, you've taken me to so many places when I was a kid, and I cherish those memories a lot. You know, we had a lot of great times together, and I get to brag about you all the time to my friends. There's no better dad that I could ever ask for. You know, you made my childhood complete. You're still the best dad ever. I hope I look as good as you when I'm 65. But, you know, I'm just rambling here, but I love you very much, and happy 65th birthday, Dad.
Hey Dad, happy birthday. Thanks for always caring and looking out for me. I hope you enjoy your day. Love you.
Hi honey, happy 65th birthday. I looked through my stuff and I found the journal that I wrote back when I first met you in England over 40 years ago. So I wanted to read a little excerpt of what I wrote the first time that we met and then our first big date. So I met you first on November 4th, I believe 1977, and this is what I said. I said, I'm heavily in like. No one was there, so I relaxed into my California self and chatted with the bartenders. I discovered one of them had a sense of humor that matched mine, Sample. After hearing two passing whores complain that they lived on Shit Street. Me, I wonder if that's near Shit Creek. He, that's what I do for a living. Recondition paddles lost in Shit Creek. What's more, he's tallish and handsome and rides a motorcycle. It's one of those instant attractions that I experience about once every other year. I just hope he felt the same. Indications were good. Perhaps by now I won't back off from a relationship either. I only have 5 months anyway. Then everything ends. It's a safe situation. So as we know, it's not such a safe situation now that we've been married over 31 years and I've known you for about 40 of those years. Just the other one I'm going to read is when you first took me out in Eltham, which was on the 20th of that same month. What a wonderful day. Very cold, but my heart was warm. Richard showed me the Cutty Sark Maritime Museum, Greenwich Meridian at the observatory, and just walking around, watching the skateboarders at the park, coupled with Richard's enthusiasm, makes me want to master it. What? A California learning skateboarding in London? Richard lives in a house with his mother, and we all had a fantastic roast beef dinner. Then we listened to some records. He has everything from Pink Floyd to Barbra Streisand, and I examined his books, my own way of evaluating personalities. Ray Bradbury and Keith Vonnegut reassured my original assessment. Then we watched a James Bond movie and had scones with gooseberry jam and cream, of course with tea. I caught the last possible train home, feeling just a little bit in love. So, I'm so happy that I found you in London, and I love you still, honey. Happy 65th birthday.